Dr. Carmen Bryant, Psychological Health Consultants and Services, and my program, Redefining Yourself, a program that was developed for women that are thinking of leaving, that need more education, or have come out of domestic violence relationship, specifically narcissist abuse. I focus on narcissist abuse as a part of domestic violence, which is domestic violence, and many people are speaking up and talking about their experience with a narcissist partner. So even though my focus is more toward the women that are coming out of relationship with men, but this goes across the board. You know, narcissist abuse is narcissist abuse. It doesn't matter your race, gender, sexual preference. It doesn't matter. Narcissist abuse is narcissist abuse. And whether you're in same-sex relationships, whether you're in heterosexual relationship, it is what it is. And hopefully you can glean from these videos because they apply to everyone. My focus just happens to be women that are coming out of relationships with men. But please take the information and use it because it is what it is. It's domestic violence. That's exactly what it is on a different level. I do want to address Ms. Gracefully Broken. Thank you so much for commenting on the video. You know, I know you, like many other of us, and other victims of narcissist abuse are at different levels of recovery. Most of the coaches that you see have been through, the ones that teach about narcissist abuse have been through narcissist abuse. And so you are in the midst of your recovery and your stages of grief and loss. And there are days, yes, it's going to be hard because there are going to be some days where you beat your own self up trying to figure out how in the world did you get caught up in a relationship like that. I think that's a question that all of us have asked. You know, the fact that you were a good supply. You know, they connected to a good supply, but they're predators, they're parasites, and that's what they look for. They look for people, and that's what I'm going to talk about on today's video too. They look for their prey. There's specific things that they look for in their prey, and so I commend you for going no contact. I commend you. It's just like coming out of you know, drug addictions. It takes time. You know, every day is a new day. You find something, you discover yourself, you find something to find pleasure in. If you have children, you know, spend time with your kids. If you're a single woman with no children, go find something that will make you happy. Take yourself out to eat. You know, pamper yourself. Go get your nails done. Go get your hair done. You know, go get your lashes done. You know, but you know, go do something to find yourself and value yourself, because this person has devalued you for so long that you know, many women believe that they have no self-esteem, they have no self-worth because this person did not tell them that they had self-worth. And so I commend you first of all for coming up the relationship. And yes, there are going to be days it's going to be hard, but please, you know, if you like, you can email me, Dr. Carmen Bryant, drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. You know, you have people here that are going to encourage you. If you post, you know, information, people are going to encourage you. You can also go to my Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services as well. There are people there that will encourage you. I commend you. You know, stay strong, sister. You know, you're going to make it through. So today's topic, I want to talk about some of the manipulation tactics that narcissist uses. And I went to thriveafterabuse.com. A blog is very good. You know, I'm going to put my 2 cents in it. And then also from PsychCentral.com. So I wanted to go, let me go back. First of all, you know, why are narcissists good at manipulating? So here it says that they're good because they're always on the continuous lookout for our vulnerabilities. They're always looking for a victim. They're always looking for, you know, we are, you know, the prey and the predator. So they're always looking for a prey. And so they're looking for people that have vulnerabilities. It makes it easier for them to grab a hold of their prey. And once they hone in on you, this is what it says here. Once they hone in on you, what's important to you, and what is important to you, they will use these things against you. Some examples of vulnerabilities might be your children, your self-esteem issues, insecurities we may have, our weight, our appearances, finances, fears of being alone or losing someone we love. Narcissists find out many of their victims' vulnerabilities during the love bombing stage and the good listener stages of the relationship. So in the very beginning, they're love bombing you. Oh, they're the ideal partner. You know, you've never met anybody like this. Oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. He's a good listener. She's a good listener. You know, they care so much about me. They give me advice. You know, they encourage me. No, it's the fact that you are giving them your vulnerabilities. You're giving them your heartache. So you feel like you have a therapist. You feel like you have someone that you can trust and you can just spew out everything in your heart to this individual. That's what they want you to do because they're trying to find your vulnerabilities and how to, remember I said in another video, it's to find out your vulnerabilities, to find out the type of person the role or the character that they need to play in order to pull you in. Some of the targets on here, it says, and I agree with it, some of the targets of narcissists are codependent people, people that come from backgrounds, neglect, rejection, abuse, or people that come out of homes that had narcissistic parents and family members. A lot of issues with self-esteem and self-worth, people that are in fear of rejection and abandonment. Borderline are very good prey for narcissists. Those people that have been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder are very good prey for narcissists, because they always have a fear of rejection, abandonment. They jump into relationships very quickly, and they hold on. It's almost a love-hate type of relationship. No, don't leave me. Go, get away from me, but please come back. So a person with borderline personality disorder is a good target for a narcissist. But usually they look for people that have had like traumatic experiences, and it's not that they can pick you up. They want to talk to you, and so as you're talking, you're telling them about your past. So people that have been abused, sexually exploited, sexual abuse, those type of things. Let's see. Let's keep going. They're emotional con artists. Remember that. And they play roles. So we already know that. Okay, so here goes some of the tactics. Some of the manipulative tactics that they use. First of all, denial. And we've talked about this in other videos. When you confront a narcissist, even if you're not in a harsh confrontational battle of the minds with a narcissist, just to bring up something like, inappropriate dress or inappropriate speech, or, what you did is inappropriate, even on the workplace, to bring, constructive criticism, it's almost like they have to die by the sword. How dare you come and say anything to me and break my thoughts of how perfect that I am, but so they'll deny. They never take accountability for anything. Something as simple as, that was kind of rude, when you said that, or, that's very inappropriate, you may want to think about that, because it could be perceived as this, or, when you said that, so they will deny. They do not take accountability for their bad behavior. Even if it's illegal behavior, they come up with all sorts of excuses as to why. Well, the policies, the rules, or the laws may say this. That's because they kind of frown on it. But, it's still my choice at the matter. So they downplay everything. They deny everything. And then they'll even go, to the extent of gaslighting. Turn around and gaslight the victim, to believe that, so that they'll not even trust what they saw, trust what they're saying, make them question their own self. You could be a policymaker. They'll have you confused. You could be the person that made the policy, in law and government or whatever, but they'll have you so confused that you'll question the laws and policies that are in place. Let's see. They'll have you questioning your own perceptions. They minimize, what they've done, and they will turn it around back on you. So if that doesn't work, they also triangulate. Now, triangulation is not always sexual with a partner. However, that is great for them, a great ego boost for them. But they'll triangulate with other people, at work, with children. They'll have the children triangulate with them to come up against you, at how bad you are, or, mom is like this or dad is like this. They'll have the kids. They'll turn the kids against you. They'll turn your coworkers against you, friends and family against you. They'll triangulate, and the best thing they can possibly do is to pit another woman against another woman. And so if there's another woman in the picture, whether it's a sexual relationship or a new source of supply that they're grooming, they will pit you two against each other so that you'll fight so they can back out of the situation. Now, the problem is that there is no longer a focus on their wrongdoings or a focus on their inappropriateness in whatever situation or affair or anything. Now, the focus becomes, the focus is diverted to something that is probably not even, first of all, worth it, and completely off topic. So they don't have a problem with that. That's like the best ego fuel boost for them when you have two people fighting, or even two men fighting over a woman. So let's see. Pity, they'll use pity. They want you, they'll play with your emotions. Remember, everything is to refocus you off of them, to refocus you off of their bad doing, to focus on something else. They'll use pity. They'll pull you in, well, I was abused as a kid, and I'm working on this. I have post-traumatic stress. I know a gentleman, they called the police on his wife, and then when the police officer couldn't find anything wrong, the narcissist began to play the pity role, that they had post-traumatic stress from the war, and it didn't make any sense. And I think the officer kind of figured it out. It didn't make any sense, so he kind of left. But there, I mean, it can be pathetic. It can be very pathetic. But they'll manipulate you through using your emotions by switching your focus on away from their bad behavior onto their trauma, onto their poor upbringing, onto their bad childhood, stress at work. So this, I'm reading off of here, alcoholism that was in their family, or maybe they have alcohol problems, the terrible, horrible ex-wife, and how horrible the ex-wife was, and how she wants to destroy him, or he wants to destroy her, or how depressed they've been, and they've never been the same after that, and she totally destroyed me, he totally destroyed me. Let's see, how they may be suicidal, they need to go to rehab or detox. Now they're that dramatic. I'm telling you that they're the Academy Award winning actors and actresses, but that's how far they will go, and or they'll pretend like they've committed suicide. One narcissist, the experience with the wife, one narcissist pretended to commit suicide and took a Motrin, but laid on the floor and held his breath while she stood there and watched him as he was holding his breath. Her thoughts were, I wonder how long he can hold his breath. So, I mean, they're dramatic. They are dramatic. Now, that was funny, but they're dramatic. Guilt, they'll use guilt. So they'll turn it around and guilt you for something that they have done. And please apologize. I'm apologizing. I have a client, so I'm looking up at the clock. But they'll use guilt. So they'll turn it around for it to be your fault. The reason why they're feeling the way that they're feeling is because, number one, you've gained weight. You could be the one that's cheating and lying. I just feel something. It's a possibility. My bad behavior is a result of how you treated me. If you didn't weigh as much, you've gained weight. You're less appealing to me. Why won't you dress like this? And sometimes what they'll do is they're looking at a new source of supply. So what they'll do is they'll tell you how to look like that new source of supply, but you don't realize that they're holding you up to a standard that you may not be able to. You can't be skinny, or you can't be that size, or look like a model, or all of a sudden have hair to the floor, or have breasts this big, or so they'll give you these unreasonable or unattainable goals to reach, and some women try to do it. Maybe you need to dress this way, and that's not the way that you normally dress, so you find yourself all out of character. But you notice that they're highly manipulative, so they'll refocus and then make you feel guilty for even confronting them about their bad behavior, and their bad behavior may have been legitimate, but by the time you're done talking, you're completely confused. You're totally off topic. They may use intimidation. If that doesn't work, threaten to leave you, threaten to take the children from you, go to court. Well, if I go to court, I make more money than you do, and you're a bad parent, you're this, you're that, threaten to clean the accounts out, you won't get my insurance, I'm not paying child support, I'll make you pay child support, anything, stalking, physical abuse, punching holes in the walls to scare you, something to intimidate you, something to scare you, in order for you to change your mind, to get the focus off of their bad behavior. Hope, one of the things that they'll use is hope. And here it says, I just said it to you, here it says, narcissists do such an Oscar-winning performance of getting their victims to believe that this time they can really change. And I think she asked a narcissist why he thought women kept coming back to abusive men, and he smiled and said, because hope dies last. So we do have a lot of hope, especially as women. We have a lot of hope for people to change, but you have to understand a narcissist is not going to change. They're not going to change, but for a woman, a lot of times we hold out on hope. We have hope when no one else has hope. Mamas have hope, wives have hope, sisters, aunties, grandmas, we just have hope, men too, but hope dies last. So let's see. No therapy and medication will not change a narcissist. So let's go to Pro Psych Central, and these are some more tactics that are used by narcissists to manipulate mental abuse. Another thing is rage. They fly into rage. Now, remember we were talking about the low, mid, and high-grade narcissists, and then the elite narcissist. The low to mid-range narcissists have the incapacity of controlling their emotions, so they fly into rages quite often. They lack control. They angry, so they lack emotional control, and also they lack emotional control, so they'll fly into rages a lot. Those are the ones that fly into rages, knock things over, punch walls. The ones that are more seasoned, that had more time groom, to have the experience at being a narcissist in the first place, those are the ones that have a little more self-control. You know, they still will can fly into rages, and fly into rages when they begin to lose control. You'll see them lose, you know, because their whole foundation is being shook that they build. But the younger ones, the low grade, mid grade, those are the ones that are still having problems with rage. And rage, sometimes they fly into rages for no reason, just to stimulate the atmosphere, just to make you uncomfortable, always have you walking on eggshells. Families stressed, kids are stressed, animals are stressed, fish are stressed. You know, whenever they come, they just fly into rages just because, you know, just because they can. But it shocks the victims, and it says here, shocks the victims into compliance and silence. Be quiet. Gaslighting, we talked about that before, to make you question your own memory or perceptions, or your own sanity. They claim and give evidence of that person's, the victim's past wrong behavior, further causing doubt. She might even begin to question what she said a minute ago. So, I mean, you have to remember, we used to say back in the day, they have diarrhea of the mouth. They talk. They're like sales people, you know, salesmen, car salesmen, you know, they talk and talk around the topic. If you've picked up on something, they'll talk around the topic. In therapy, you call it circumstantial speech. Circumstantial speech, they talk in circles, or tangential. Tangential speech means that they'll be on the topic and then they go off on a tangent, and totally different topic that you were talking about. So it is also, it's a speech, it's a we call it not speech disorder, but it's a disorder with speech. We're on speech disorder, but it's also a disorder in thought. That's how they think. But you have to remember, they're using that to get you off topic. You pointed out something, and they get you off topic by gaslighting and then talking circumstantial in circles, or talking tangential, meaning to get you off topic. The stare. Many of us know about the stare. You know, the stare, an intense stare with no feelings behind it, is designed to scare a victim into submission, and frequently mixed with the silent treatment. Silent treatment is also a form of punishment to get you to comply back, you know, under their control, and they punish you by ignoring you. Then they let the victim off the hook by demanding an apology, even though she isn't to blame. So remember, you brought up a situation that may have been unacceptable or inappropriate, but they've done all these tactics, these manipulation tactics, just to get you to apologize for even accusing them. And you know, but by then you've been gaslighted, so you begin to question, well, maybe I was wrong. That cognitive dissonance. Well, maybe I was wrong. You know, well, maybe, you know, I know they did this, but maybe, you know, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. So now you're questioning your own, and they're trying to force you to apologize for maybe how your tone was when you confronted them, or how you said what you said, but it has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Projection. They dump their issues into onto their victims as if she were the one doing it. For instance, a narcissist mental abusers may accuse the spouse of lying when they're the ones that lie, or they make her feel guilty when he's really guilty. This creates confusion. So projecting, a lot of times they do project their own behavior, or something that someone has said to them, or has admonished them on, or has brought to their attention. They'll project that onto their victim, and it makes it seem as if you're the one that's actually doing what they're doing, but they're actually telling you what they're doing. Twisting. When a narcissist spouses are confronted, they will twist it around to blame their victims for their actions. They will not accept responsibilities for their behaviors and insist that their victims apologize to them. We just talked about that when we were talking about the guilt, you know, turning it around, triangulation, well, the guilt. But to twist around, you know, the circumstantial speech, the tangential speech, they twist it around. The manipulation, we've already talked about, we're talking about the manipulation, you know. Remember, you've already spewed your vulnerabilities out, so now they'll use your vulnerabilities against you to get you back in compliance, like the threat of abandonment, infidelity, or rejection. Or, let's see. So it's a control tactic. So, you know, manipulation is a control tactic. The victim card, you know, the pity. When all else fails, the narcissist resorts to playing the victim's card. This is designed to gain sympathy and further control behavior. So see, when you're dealing with a narcissist is not going to change. And, you know, the tactics that they use, the things that they use to really abuse, mentally abuse, psychologically abuse their victims is horrific. You know, and for those people that are in it, I'm telling you about it. I'm letting you know what's happening. Let you know it's not your fault and you're not crazy. But this is psychological. It's psychologically damaging. Is self-esteem and self-worth damaging? When you come out of situations like that, it takes a while to heal from this type of abuse. This is torment. And for many people, they have post-traumatic stress or complex post-traumatic stress. So it's not time to jump right back into a relationship. You need to rediscover yourself, because these individuals, just like we talk about the sociopaths and psychopaths, and I talked about it with someone that I was talking about narcissism. We looked at people like Jeffrey Dahmer, who, brought in male prostitutes, had sex with them, killed them, and then ate them. Had them in the refrigerator. Remember, that was on the news. People like Ted Bundy, charming, just a handsome guy too, was killing prostitutes. We look at these psychopaths and sociopaths, which now is antisocial personality disorder. I think that's the name of it. But we look at these people and we're just horrified, and we're locking doors. But a narcissist is just as bad. Most of them you do see, like I say all the time, you do see a lot of narcissists in prison. But a narcissist prefers that you kill yourself. That's the ultimate sacrifice to their ego and grandiosity. That fuels them and makes them stronger. Just like words of empowerment. When we as women come together and we empower each other, that woman power, but we empower each other, we support each other, to help you get through something like this. Just like what was her name? What was your, I apologize, Gracefully Broken. When we come together as women and we support ourselves, especially through a hard, trying time like you're going through right now, and you see other women that have been through this, and we're supporting each other and let you know that you're not crazy, it was not your fault. It takes time to come out of that mindset, because they work very diligently, and I'm speaking of the narcissist, have worked very diligently to get you to that point, to literally drive you crazy and want to kill yourself. So it takes time to unravel that. But when we get together and support each other, there's strength behind that. So I have to go. I do have a client coming in. Hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting me. Please share. Someone needs to hear this. Someone is going through this, and some of you may have thrown your hands up like, I don't know what else to do. Can't force them out of a relationship. Sometimes you have to teach them out of a relationship. You have to strengthen them out of a relationship. Then you have to give them resources. Their total psyche has been torn down. Their total sense of worth has been torn down. And you can't just take them out of there and then expect them to survive. Just like Gracefully Broken said, there are times that she's depressed. These are the vulnerable times where a lot of times the victims go right back to the abuser. That's all they know. That they're familiar. But when you have people like us that have been through it, or people that have strength that help another person, especially the women, to help another woman through. Just like I think the t-shirt said, hey, when you see a woman that's going through something, you see a queen that's going through something, privately adjust that crown, put that crown back on her head, grab her hand and stand her up and pull her through with you. This is very hard on people. Psychologically, this is tormenting, and some women are suffering, so and men are suffering, so I advise you guys, please share these videos, not because it's me, because of what I'm saying. Share the videos with these women, share the videos with people that you're trying to help. There are sometimes you can say a lot of things, but people are not gonna, they can't come out of their situation until they begin to learn. And sometimes it may, you're the person closest to them, and so sometimes a person that has a commonality with them, a friendship with them, is harder to listen to you, because we're friends, we're buddies, but to hear a third person say something, to hear a professional say something about what they're going through, it's like a light goes off in their head and they begin to listen. That doesn't mean they leave right away, but they begin to listen. And so just share the videos, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so that you can, be alerted whenever I come on. Go to my professional Facebook page, Psychological Health Consultants and Services, and, hit the like button so you can follow me. Send me emails, Dr. Carmen Bryant with a T, DrCarmenBryant at outlook.com. Email me, please comment, let me know this is. Thank you so much, Gracefully Broken. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys sending me private emails and sending me messages. I am so honored. Thank you so much that I know that this is helping you. Hey, like my friend always says, go and be great. And I mean that. Go and be great.